All right, we are here with
Isaiah White.
Isaiah. Tell me how old you are and what grade you're in.
I am 15 and I'm in the 10th grade.
15 in the 10th grade. All right, now Isaiah, how long have you been a homeschool student?
7 years?
This is our eighth.
Eighth year.
So 7 years, you're right. This is our
years.
8th year. And you went to school for what grades?
Kindergarten through 3rd.
Kindergarten through 3rd. You were pulled out in what grade?
The 3rd grade.
The 3rd grade. All right. What were some things that you think contributed to your parents deciding to take you out of public school?
Well, it was a couple things. I mean, sometimes the teachers wouldn't be as fair as they could have been or should have been. They would sometimes give me bad grades because I didn't do things the way they wanted me to, even though I got the questions right on the test.
Okay.
And they were sometimes mean, but I'd be kind of afraid to say things because they were my teachers.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to say anything bad about them.
Okay. What did you like most when you were in school? What's the thing you liked the most?
Recess.
Recess? And that's your sister who just made a noise with her foot. But we're going to continue on anyway because she is an outrageous child who will be interviewed next. All right. So you liked recess the most. So it wasn't the learning environment. It wasn't the books and the sitting in the desk at a desk all day.
No, I hated that.
Now, you hated the sitting at the desk and the books, but you liked recess. So what was it about recess that you liked so much?
I got to run and play with my friends and run.
And did it seem like recess was eternal?
It seemed like recess would go about 3 hours, but
it was really
apparently it was only about 30 minutes. So, as people have told me.
Yeah, that is the life of a child. The perspective is always different. What do you appreciate after being in school from kindergarten to 3rd grade? What do you appreciate about homeschooling?
I appreciate the patience, like it seems you're more patient with me than my teachers were. My teachers would rush me along, and if I didn't have the thing done by the first day, I would be behind, which usually I'd be pretty behind.
Are you behind because you do what?
Distracted.
You get distracted, yes, which is very common among boys. They get distracted primarily when they have to sit for long periods of time. So have you ever been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD?
I don't think so.
But you have been diagnosed with being a what?
A boy.
A boy. Being a boy.
Or a man.
Yeah, and sometimes, no, we have never diagnosed you with being a man, not yet. But you have been diagnosed with being a boy. And did you notice that your friends in school, some of your other friends that were boys, their favorite subject was also recess?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you appreciate homeschool. One thing about homeschool is that there's more patience. You have more time to work.
I have more time to work, and I have more time to perfect it. So after I'm done perfecting it, I can just go right through.
So have you perfected anything yet, son?
Yes, I have.
What have you perfected?
Let me think about it for a second. Let's see. I perfected science, anatomy.
We haven't done anatomy yet.
That's what we're doing now.
We're doing anatomy now. Okay, so you're learning. But you're in the 10th grade. You're taking biology. How'd you do with biology?
Did really good with biology.
You took it in the 9th grade. You did very good. I don't remember your grade. What'd you get?
Got a 97.
You got an A. You got an A in biology. Very good. Very good. And you like science.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite subject now.
And you're hoping one day to be a what?
An inventor.
An inventor. So you're working on some things now. I hear you have a notebook where you're writing down ideas. Well, you've had one of those since you were like 4. So I'm not surprised that you still have one. All right. So if you could change anything about homeschool, what would you change?
Nothing really.
Nothing really?
I really like it.
Did you like it in the beginning or have you grown to like it?
I had to grow to like it.
Okay.
It's kind of an acquired taste.
What'd you think about it in the beginning?
I was going along with it because it was something you wanted to do. So I was going with it. But I thought at first that I knew it was going to be different, and I didn't really like change then. I wanted everything to be on a set schedule.
Yeah, you've been my child that never liked change.
So it was just a big change that I was not really thrown into it, but I wasn't prepared really. Okay. So it was kind of a really big change.
We made a drastic change. I pulled you guys out right before the Halloween party that year. So it was early in the school year when I made the decision to pull you guys out. All right, but after 7 full years of homeschooling, you wouldn't change anything.
No.
Now, we tried several different types of homeschooling. We started traditional. We went on to, we did 2 distance learning sites. We did Odella and we did K-12. What were your thoughts on Odella?
Odella, didn't like it. It was dull.
It was dull.
It didn't attract the eye at all. I mean, so you're just doing
and you were on the
schoolwork.
computer.
You're on a computer all day, sitting down. Basically, you might as well be in school, but on a computer all day.
Okay. What were your thoughts on K-12?
K-12 was like more because it was more of a go at your own pace, but by the time it got kind of boring, it was...
Because once again, you were doing what?
Sitting on a computer all day. Just, I might as well have been in school.
Yeah.
So, which I didn't really like.
Okay. All right. What are some things you've heard about homeschooling that you agree or disagree with?
Some things I disagree with, that the kids are all weird, or they have no socializing skills at all.
Okay. Are you weird?
Depends on your definition.
Do you have socialization skills? Are
Yes.
you able to interact with your
Yes.
peers? Okay. Do you feel also comfortable interacting with adults too?
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable interacting with little kids?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're comfortable with toddlers all the way up to your great grandmother.
Yep.
Yes. So you're not just okay having conversations with people your own age.
No, I like conversation with everyone.
Okay. So do you think that homeschool has helped you as far as interacting with people in all different generations? Yes. Okay. All right. So what are homeschoolers? Let me think. What's one of the most important things you've learned in homeschooling or that you've gained in these past 7 years?
Most important thing I've gained, well, there's two things. I got used to change more because
there's a lot of change in homeschool.
Had to, and the schedule change sometimes, and sometimes there's things you have to get done that you can't put off any longer.
Yeah. Are you a procrastinator sometimes?
Occasionally.
Yeah. You got that honestly. All right. So what's one of the most important things you've learned, I think was the question. Okay.
I think the most important thing I've learned is in our Bible studies. That's probably the most important thing I've learned.
Okay. So what about those? What have you learned in them or what have you learned, not necessarily in a particular Bible study, but what have you learned overall that you think is really important?
Well, it's really important to have a solid foundation in Christ, period. That's the most important thing. Yes, everything is second after that.
Okay. Now, are you saying that because your parents have trained you well and given you a script to follow, or is this what you truly...
This is what I believe.
Truly believe. All right. Very good. And how do you play sports? A lot of people want to know about sports, and being socially deprived is one concern for homeschoolers. You're obviously not socially deprived because you're not in school with 800 kids, but you are in school with 5 other people who are still learning, as well as interacting with several other families that are learning. 4 other. I'm the 5th one. I'm learning while you guys learn. So, what do you do about sports? Are you deprived of physical activity being homeschooled?
No, I am not deprived.
Okay, so what sports have you played over the last 7 years?
Last 7 years, I played baseball for 3 years. Still playing baseball. Basketball, I played for 2 years. Tried to play football. But I couldn't actually play. It's not that.
Okay, but you're forgetting the sport where you won. No, you won. Your team has won
baseball,
the championships.
Soccer, and basketball.
Your team won the championships in soccer, and your team won. They were runner-up last year. They were second place in baseball in your league, your age category in league, and they were the champions this year in your league. So you're not deprived of sports or physical activity. Do you find that because you're homeschooled, you have trouble relating to the other kids that are in public school, or is it no different?
Not really. I mean, sometimes in certain things, but you kind of catch on quick.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Let me see, because we had a couple of different things. Leah wants me to ask you her question. Her 3 questions that were all different types of the same question. Okay, so I asked 2 of her questions that are kind of the same. What do you think about homeschooling, and what do you like most about homeschooling? So, what do you think about homeschooling?
I think homeschooling is really good. It's a good idea for parents who decide they want to homeschool, and I really like it.
You really like it. What's the thing you like most about it?
The thing I like most is it's not rushed, or you get your own pace, and you have time to really get acquainted in a sense to your subject, to the subject that you're doing.
All right, we found the math resource, last question, that I'm really excited about because I'm not strong in math. And this allows you guys to learn, again, at your own pace. But tell me a little bit about the math resource that we found and that we've been using and what you think about it.
Math resource is called Khan Academy. It has a lot of videos. I mean,
Yeah, it has everything,
enough.
not just math.
It'll take you a long time to get done with all those videos. It has science, but particularly math is what we use.
Okay.
The math videos, they're
Now, is there
interactive.
teacher instruction? There's instruction on the site in the videos?
Mhm.
Okay.
It teaches you, and you have a chance to go to a separate page immediately after you watch the video to practice what you just learned. So,
Okay. And what happens if say you're working on an algebra or geometry concept? You're working in geometry concepts. So say you're working in geometry and you miss something. What happens if you miss it? What do?
if you miss it, they start you over.
They start you over.
So you don't get
done.
You don't get advanced in that particular section of geometry unless you master it.
Okay. All right. So overall scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your homeschool experience? Knowing we've had some pitfalls and some false starts over the years, but overall, how would you rate your homeschool experience?
I would go to 9.
Get a 9? Very good. All right, Isaiah, we've enjoyed talking to you, and we will be back to talk to you next week.
Okay, thank you.